morning, Bill.
Good morning, Mark. Change of venue today.
And actually, it was really nice just sort of driving up the driveway to Michelle's place and the sun's shining, the birds are singing. I thought, isn't it good?
And it's at the heart of the Bellarine Peninsula, just outside Drysdale, and you wouldn't know where you were when you look out the window, would you? But Mark, last night we went to a great event for the Geelong Chamber of Commerce and Geelong Food Relief, but they've changed their name to Geelong Food Share.
Yep, Andrew Schwabel did a good job leading the
Right.
congregation.
Well attended, and the data that they were speaking about last night and how many people are being fed or having to be fed in the region is just unbelievable. And in fact, as you know, have been volunteering in the past there, where we go around in small vans to the back of supermarkets, and we really rescue food from the back of supermarkets that is fine to eat, nothing really wrong with it. They sort it, and then they distribute it to some 50 or 60 different agencies in the region. It's just incredible the number of people that rely on food relief.
And I like Andrew's sustainability push, which is things that are starting to go to the edge of their use-by life. They cook and they cook up, and anything that they cannot use, they take down to the local pig farmer and feed the pigs. So they don't want to waste.
Yeah, there's a lot of fat pigs. That's what there is.
So
All
talking
right,
about sustainability, that leads us nicely into today's guest, Michelle Visser. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
Michelle runs Harvest Experience, the winner of the Geelong Business Excellence Award for Sustainable Business. And I'll declare I came here as a judge, and Michelle had me on a butter churn trying to make butter. I haven't forgotten. Anyway, let's learn from Michelle.
Oh, Michelle, was that a wooden butter churn? One of the old-fashioned ones?
There's the paddles, there's the handle.
No
motors involved.
We had one on the farm.
Yeah, there you go.
On the Murray River.
Exactly the same concept.
We didn't have any electricity, and Mum made the butter with that wooden box.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
The paddles.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it was fantastic.
Had Mark sweating.
Yeah, we were sweating away trying to make butter. Chris Smith with us when we were doing it. So Michelle, let's begin. Where was primary school?
Primary school was at St Andrews, a school that actually doesn't exist anymore. It was in Noble Street. I think it's Geelong Grammar Campus now. But yeah, a school run by two very strict older sisters, and then I left there in grade 3 because moving into grade 4 I would have been the only one in grade 4, so probably not the best opportunity, and I moved to the Geelong College. So,
by the way, that building there has been sold again because Grammar are building new facilities for that prep to whatever it is out at the Corio.
Oh, okay. And yes, I did the rest of my schooling at the Geelong College.
Right through to year 12 gone?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So in year 12, what were you thinking you wanted to do?
So at the end of year 12, I distinctly remember the exam offers came out, and I played the flute at school, and my flute teacher rang me and said, they've got your courses mixed up, because everyone assumed I would go on with music. So I was quite good at music, but from a performance sense, that was what I loved. But I knew in the greater world I wasn't awesome. I was good in my little pond, but not in the bigger pond. And I had a passion for playing, but I thought maybe I would end up teaching, which is a grand, job, but not something that I wanted to do. So I went and did commerce at Melbourne Uni.
Okay.
So very different and quite shocking to everyone. And so, I left Geelong for the big smoke and never thought I would return.
Did you have any part-time jobs when you were at school?
I did.
Yeah.
I played at weddings.
Oh, there you go.
At the old Wombat Gully, had a wedding venue.
Yes.
So my friends were earning, $8 at McDonald's, and I was earning $60 an hour playing for weddings with a friend who played the violin, and that got me through university as well.
Well done.
So
That's very good. That's a first. We've had lots of paper rounds and Coles, obviously, and Woolies and all those things, but that's a first. That's very good. That's very good. So coming out of uni, where did you head to?
So I had no idea what I wanted to do. My father was a builder and was very proud that one of his child had gone to university, that he said he had to come out being something, an engineer or something, and I had no idea what to do. So I went and joined one of the big 5 accounting firms, which was even more of a shock. And I joined there in audit, and then didn't like that very much.
Well, that was like working at chooks laying eggs in a battery
Yeah.
factory, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was good discipline process, but not much thinking. So I'm creative on one side, given the music and so forth. So I ended up in a different, very unique part of PwC in the management consulting in M&A doing commercial side. So the people would do the financial analysis, and I'd go out and do a shop visit and get a feel of how that experience was and what I saw in the shops, and I'd visit nightclubs at night and that kind of angle. So it was a bit different.
It's different.
And then I headed to the UK and worked in London.
And
In
accounting?
the same doing that business M&A work. And then I took a year from PwC. They had a project where they selected people around the world to go and do a UN project. So I went and did that in Zambia.
Oh, well. And what was the project then?
So it was helping a agricultural school become sustainable. Started very early on. So I wasn't even 30 then. So it was a little business that was very reliant on government grants, and they had to learn how to, you can't just keep buying seeds and fertiliser. You need to learn how to do that themselves. So grow the plants once and then get the seeds for next year, make their own fertiliser and come a self-sustaining. So that's, nearly 20 years ago, which was a very new concept, even the word sustainability. So I guess that, it's nearly started the passion.
Did that plant the seed in your head, do you
I think so, because I then came back to the Melbourne office, and I distinctly remember a junior person whinging that she had a desk that had no view. And I remember sitting there going, when you were young and you used to not eat your dinner and your mum would say, eat it, there's people starving, and you used to go, I'll go and post it to them, arrogant, who are these people? Yep. It was one of those moments. I'm thinking, you're whinging about your view. I've just lived for a year with people who have nothing, but they're so happy. They have barely nothing and it was really hard to get back into it, working out what was important to me and not important to me.
There's our tipping point,
There's
Mark.
your tipping point.
Right, we're always looking for a tipping point.
Yeah. So by that stage I was quite senior, and it was a case of, did you want to go into partnership and sell work? And that wasn't me. I liked being with people and doing work, and I think the Africa thing just was what is going to be my legacy, even at that perspective. I remember reflecting on my dad. We used to drive around as a kid, and Dad used to go, I built that house, I built that school. And I think, what am I going to show my kids? I did a PowerPoint. I
built a wall without a window.
So I did something in Africa, and then I came back to just doing PowerPoints, and it just, wasn't my thing. So the firm sort of said, we'll take a leave of absence, and I went and worked for Orica in explosives, so getting more into the science side, which was my really passion, and I did really enjoy that. I did that for 10 years. But again, I got to the end of it and sort of thought, it has to be something else. And my husband was the same. He was a bit like, we need to do something different, change our lives a bit and so forth. So we'd just had our daughter, and we decided we would move and do a tree change, and we'd do that for her primary school, and then we'd go back to Melbourne and back to real life, and she'd start high school. But
guess what? You're in real life.
I know. She's year 9 now, and we never had a meeting to say, are we going back? Or no one even questioned it. And so we ended up here. We looked at different places, but my mum's still in Geelong, so she's getting a bit older, be closer to her, and it was all about the trees and the property we wanted, and here we are.
To sort of describe the property, Bill, it's how many acres?
It's 3 acres.
It's 3 acres.
Down a gravel pathway.
Right,
off the main road.
Yep. And you have a lovely treed, grassy area as you come in, and Michelle's Harvest Experience kitchen is at the end of this little grassed area. Their house is off to one side. You've got chook sheds and an arbory with trees that Michelle built the bird protection, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Well, perhaps, Mark, we should just stop there and explain the business.
Michelle,
before
tell us.
Yeah, tell us.
So I'll sort of maybe explain how it evolved,
Yes,
because it wasn't
please.
one where, you go, oh, I want to go and do this. It genuinely was like a seed and grew. So we moved here, and the property, previous people had not lived here for quite a while. It was the big drought in Geelong, so stage 4 water. A lot of it was dead, and a lot of it was in English, sort of topiary and roses and so forth. So we built to sort of rebuild it with a native garden and put that all in. There was an orchard in here, but hadn't been looked after, so we grafted onto those existing trees to give you about a 5-year head start rather than planting brand new trees. And that was going really well. And then we decided we'd have a go. We're a bit of a people, have a go at anything. We did the veggie garden, and that was the first thing that we built together as corporate people, and it has a fall in the land of about 1 metre, but it is straight and it's pretty perfect. I think we're doing it like we were building a piano, but it still stood the time, and it's 10 years now. And then we put in our vineyard. And so we were doing all of this, and then we had friends from Melbourne. All our friends were still up in Melbourne, who were very urban, and they used to come down and be like, what has happened to you two? And I used to go out and take them out into the veggie garden, and I'd be so proud, and they look at my pumpkin and, look at my beans, and they'd be like, oh, is that how a bean grows? Literally, you have no idea how some people don't know how food is grown,
It's in the Woolies
Well,
on the
it
Coles
appears
supermarket.
in a little packet.
Well, you became
peeled
Drysdale hillbillies. That's what happened.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And so I was quite nervous, because I thought they would sort of mock and laugh, but they loved it. And so we'd go out and pick the produce, and then we'd come into our house, and I'd pick them, grow them, cook them a lunch, and we'd make it together and have a few laughs and work out what to do with different things. And then, one day we were talking, and my husband and I, Greg, and we thought, well, maybe people want to come and do this, spend a day with us. Because first thought I was like, oh, is that too showy to show people, oh, look at my wonderful veggie garden. But then through my friends, I saw a lot of people don't have the time, the space to enjoy those sorts of things, growing your own food, but to spend a day in our place and being part of that. When we have our classes, no one picks up a phone, no one checks their text messages, no one checks their social media accounts. They're just in it, immersed in it. And I think, the garden bit's a crucial bit of the experience that we offer that people love. And lots of people follow up with me later saying, send me photos, I'll put in a tomato plant, or, I'm growing a bit of basil, even it's just a few herbs that they're not every day buying, another bunch of herbs for 5 leaves. And I think we've inspired someone.
So someone books, what do they do? What happens when they come here?
So we have a few experiences, but our main one is our garden to plate. So when people come along, it's very small, so only 6 people, to make sure that everyone's involved in everything. We go out, and I set the menu probably Thursday. And so like last weekend I pivoted, because with the hot weather we had raspberries, and I wanted to incorporate raspberries into the menu. So the menu gets set on Thursday. The classes are a Saturday or Sunday. We spend an hour walking around the garden, picking the produce, answering questions, just talking about how things grow. A lot of things people haven't seen grow before, like a feijoa or a kiwi fruit, and talk about different things like that. And people get the fun of pulling up the beetroot and cutting the basil, and then we come in and we share the dishes out, and we start them in pairs, and then we come together as groups. So on Saturday we did some piggy pasta together as a group. We did all different tarts, so everyone learnt to line the tarts, and we did a filling with some capsicums and tomatoes, and then they get down and get to eat it all for lunch together, and they're new friends, and enjoy some of the wine that we make with
Mark,
it.
we should point out also that we're sitting in a detached studio, aren't we?
Yeah, it was custom
and you've
built.
got the full kitchen set up, your shelving, and now I'm looking outside. There's a courtyard covered in vine by the looks of it. And also I look over, there's a pizza oven over there.
Yeah, so we do learn to make mozzarella cheese and wood-fired pizza classes as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what's growing in the garden?
So this is coming up to our exciting time, so leading into summer. So all our summer vegetables and fruits are all on the go and going really well. So on Saturday we highlighted peas, beetroots, capsicums, because we also have a hothouse to start things earlier, strawberry, basil. Yeah, I think pretty much if it suits this climate, we've got it growing.
Got it growing.
Yeah.
And the recycling part, talk a bit about that.
So our philosophy in the classes is everything we make is from scratch, so we don't buy any ingredients, anything pre-made. So, the pasta, or if we're doing dumplings, we make the wrappers. As you know, Mark, we make the butter to go with the bread. And then in the classes, we have little compost bins. So nothing's, telling people this is what you must do, but people just say, where do I put the scraps? And I say, that bin for the worms, that one for the chickens, because I'll eat that one. That one's garlic or onions, neither can have that, so that'll go back in the compost. So we have, that concept there. We show people the seed house. We grow everything from seeds. The little compost bins we use are available from the council that a lot of people don't know. So most people go back and go, I better get myself one of them. And it's just those little things that I think can make a difference in the life because sustainability and things like that are big terms, and people, it can get overwhelming and what am I doing and so forth. We recycle all our grey water, so put that through a sand filter system. We show people the worm farms. I like my little worms. They're not all named now. There's too many. And, the chickens, they're great. If you close loop, they get the scraps. They poop it out. It goes on to the veggies and it all, starts again. Just simple things.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And just when we were here judging, we went and looked at your fruit tree orchard, and it's got this magnificent bird-proof mesh net over it. Mm-hmm. Tell me a bit about how that came about. Did it exist in a rough way? No.
I think I've still got PTSD from that. So we were losing a lot of, not the fruit, but the new spring growth to possums eating the ends of the trees. And by the time a possum gets through that, they can literally kill a tree. We've had some trees die from possums. So it's not so much the fruit. We don't mind sharing the fruit, but it was the possum. So we looked at netting it. So we contacted, the people that provide the netting for cherry farms. Yep. Unfortunately, it was a bit out of our budget. It was $250,000 for them to net it. So I'm the positive one in the relationship. My husband's the realistic one. And I'm like, we can do that ourselves. Yeah. And so the timber arrived in the driveway when we went home, and the guy just dumped it in the driveway and we couldn't even move it because it's huge, as Mark's seen, poles.
Big poles.
But we got a little oar, we put the holes in, and my brother and nephew helped put the big poles in, and then I spent the whole winter sewing the net in because I just didn't want it clipped in because it could rip. I sewed every bit with rope across. And
it is magnificent, Bill. I think that was little things like that when we were here chatting with Michelle that we went, wow, this is someone hands-on, making it happen, and don't say no.
Well, Mark, have you been to Boomeroo Nursery at Lara?
No.
Which is one of the most well-known nurseries, where it's huge and it's industrial size, greenhouse type things, just enormous. So building, what I'm hearing is that's the way you build a hop farm. You get the wooden poles, you put the wires up, and you cover it if you have to. Yeah, so I can imagine what you went through, right? And the mistakes.
Pretty good, yeah.
Good.
So what led to building your self-contained little kitchen?
So we talked about the idea, but would people come? And I said, I don't know if people would come. And then we thought, maybe we'll trial it in our house, probably in hindsight a lot quicker for permits wise and things like that. But I think I would have just continued to talk about it because I'm quite risk averse and, I don't know. But
it's the accounting coming through, isn't it?
I think it is. But I think I've seen so many businesses that I'm like, I've got to do something. I've got to you can't tell businesses all these years of what to do and you don't have a go yourself. So I don't know, without me, I didn't say no and I didn't say yes, but my husband decided that's it, we'll get drawings done and we'll build it. And it was literally like that. Okay, I've built it for you now. Off you go.
Make it work.
Make it work.
Make it work.
Yeah. So how long have you been in business now?
So we opened to our first customers because we were ready and then COVID hit in 21.
21.
Yeah.
Okay.
And where do your customers come from? I imagine a lot of word of mouth, but how do you promote your business?
So most of our business is word of mouth now. So we'll have people come on a Sunday and then they'll tell all their friends and then you'll see the spike in bookings for the next weekend. And it literally, is word of mouth and Googling. Like we're the top hit when people Google cooking experiences or cooking in schools in Geelong and Bellarine.
For those, is it based on a set fee? How do you price it?
So our garden to plate, which is a 4.5 hour experience, is $165 per person.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And you're fed for that too.
Yeah,
Yes.
fed full course meals instead of going out to lunch, and for a 4.5 hour experience, and only 6 people. So yeah, and then our pizzas $125, and we do pasta and Pinot.
Yeah.
We're launching a new one for the summer called Garden to Plate Ice Cream. So we're picking the ingredients, but we're doing a savoury ice cream for our lunch.
Wow.
And then sweet ice creams and cones and so different concepts.
And you've also got a vineyard, a small vineyard
We
here, haven't
do,
you?
yes. I can't take credit on the on the winemaking. Greg's the winemaker. But we put that in, I don't know if anyone knows about vine stock, but you have to buy about 50,000 vines to create a vineyard. So we got cuttings, kindly off Scotchman's Hill, who had pruned and were about to burn their prunings. Yeah. And so we put them up in pots and grew them up for a year and transplanted them. And 3 years ago, we had our wine 100% from our fruit.
Oh, that's good.
And so we got a
That's
silver
excellent.
medal last year. So
what
pretty
variety?
exciting. So we grow Shiraz and Pinot, and there's a random Chardonnay in the middle because somehow one of the sticks got out of the way. And then the local wineries, because they machine pick, they let us come and pick the ends that the machines don't get, and we produce whites from that.
And how many trees?
How
Or
many
vines,
vines
sorry.
have we
how
got?
many
We've
vines?
got 100.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so
Okay,
half an acre.
yeah.
So our Shiraz vintage was 88 bottles.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And what's nice about Michelle's story is the fact that Scotchman's Hill, which is a massive business and another a Geelong Business Excellence Award entry.
Well, of course, we're
and
surrounded by exemplar wineries here, aren't we?
That everybody sort of helped out. It wasn't get off our land or no, you can't have the... I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think that just shows that probably what's happening on the Bellarine, that there is that
not
interaction
threatened
between
by
people.
us, or
Because it's in small scale. So where to? Where do you think the business can go to? What's your plans?
So I get lots of requests for different experiences and so forth. So we'll add a few more experiences. We do mozzarella at the moment. We're going to launch a feta and halloumi next year as well, with a focaccia making one. And because people, I think they've come and they want to come back for a reason and so forth, and we're doing the ice cream one. And probably trying to get out more with family and friends. I've seen how great times a family can come together. Like we had a lady's 90th and all her family came around from Victoria.
That's good.
A 90-year-old nonna to learn pasta, which was quite intimidating. She'd never made pasta in her life, so that was cool. We've got another family celebrating their Christmas. Instead of giving each other gifts, they're going to come in January and that's their Christmas present to each other.
That's a
very
great
good
idea,
idea.
yes.
Yeah, so, minimums of 6 is not many people when you put in a husband and wife and the adult kids and so forth. And they get together. They've got a private space to have lunch together, and they get to do something that they're not going to do in their own homes, in each other's kitchens, and walk away and leave the mess to us.
Look, it's a proven concept. I remember years ago going up to Harquedale, many years ago, and two ladies had started an experience similar to that. And the other thing is people don't realise it's hard work.
Yeah.
That's the other issue. It's and it's constant. There's no sort of, I guess, other than you can leave the property, but it's not like dairying or anything like that.
Yeah.
At least the plants grow on their own.
Yeah, and the weeds.
Yeah, well, and the weeds, of course.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot. A lot of the people come here and they've had their food, bellies full, and they're like, "Oh, we should all, you should have hammocks and we should all have a little nap." And I said, maybe we should all do an hour of weeding and see the real life. Yeah.
Create a course called weed identification.
Yeah.
All right, on that basis.
And really sell that.
Yes.
So it's probably about February when everything grows and the grass has to be mowed every 2 days that my husband will have his little hissy fit and say, we're going to buy a townhouse in Geelong, and you just let him have his whinge and then
they move on.
And a few weeks later he's forgotten.
So how do people find you, Michelle?
Yep, so check out our website, www.harvestexperience.com.au, our Facebook and Instagram page by the same name, Harvest Experience, and we've got all our dates up to the end of March. And if people want a family event, just shoot me an email.
And you do them outside the bookings?
Yes. So we leave days open that we'll have, we can accommodate private bookings on either. We'll have a public class on the Sunday and we'll do the Saturday, or vice versa. Yep. So we have lots of dates available. And we've got quite a few small businesses having their Christmas function with us and celebrating. A few accounting firms, a design firm. So that's pretty cool too. They want to do an activity rather than all just go out to lunch and passive. So they're all
That's
coming
fantastic.
to do a bit of team building and Christmas bonding at the same time. So they're great fun too. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So your passion resonates, Michelle. That's
Right.
what I love
and
about it.
congratulations on winning that
thank you.
award in the
Yep.
Geelong Business Awards.
Thank you.
And it's interesting, Mark, because we've got Scotsman's Hill,
Yep.
the Q Train,
Yep.
and now we're here with Michelle, all within a little sort of stone's throw of each other. They've all won awards in the
Yep.
in the
Yeah.
Geelong Business Awards.
And we'll get to the others and interview them in the new year.
We will.
So Michelle, thank you.
Thank you.
Love the journey.
Thank you. very
Good luck
much.
for the future.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And if people listening want to have a great experience and learn, book.
Thank
That's
you.
right. Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, guys.